Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. How are you today? So we're going to wing it today, I guess. And I don't usually do that. I always concentrate on just whoever you prefer to hear from. But we'll give it a go. We'll see how this works. I'd just like to remind you, don't forget, this is not an exact science. Sometimes you got to stretch it outside the box a little bit. They'll tell you what you need to know, not always what you want to know. So, as soon as I got ready to start, I have a grandma here. And I always say grandmother type figure because your grandma next door, or the lady next door, can feel more like your grandma than your real blood grandma clear across the country. So you got to keep that in mind. It's the relationship, not as much as the bloodline. And she comes in and she has flour, like you cook with flour all over her, just all over her. Does flour, that you cook with smell? I'm getting the smell and the smell of flour, but I don't know this flour. But anyway, that smell, whatever that smell is, it's associated with flour. Not flowers that grow, flowers that cook. And you'll get that smell whenever she's around, but she's a little bit heavier. She could be a great grandma, but I feel more like a grandma. I'm not sure. But a great grandma can feel closer to you than normal great grandmas, if that makes sense. But could be on the grandma level as far as a relationship. A little bit heavier, very lighthearted, very happy-go-lucky, always smiling, bouncing around. So hopefully that all describes her. That's the way she wants to be described. She's tap dancing in the kitchen, she says. I don't think it looks like tap dancing, but she's dancing in the kitchen. She says tap dancing. Just evidently just absolutely love to cook, but maybe not the cleanest, neatest cook, since she's got flour all over herself. Or she's got flour all over herself just to make a point of she loved to bake. Cookies, cakes, pies. Now she's got a rolling pin. And she's kind of shaking it, but she's laughing as she's shaking it. So kind of shaking it like it could be in a threatening manner, like I'm going to whack you on the butt with this, but laughing about it. So probably would have never touched anybody with it. She says, I keep an eye on you. I keep an eye on everyone. I bring the gift of joy and love. So that goes along with her lighthearted personality. We have, I never remember the list of guides. We have all different kinds of guides up there that we can call on. And some of them have specific jobs, and we do have a joy guide. She would be your joy guide. So call on her when you need a little more joy in your life, and that's her job, to bring you more. You have to ask, you have to allow for whatever she brings. They cannot override your free will choice. They can bring you all kinds of good, happy stuff, and we can go, no, I'd rather not. I'll turn it down. Yeah, my guides are always on my ass about that. She's specifically mentioning cherry pie, and then she said gooseberry pie. She calls herself a mother hen. And she's still being a mother hen. She's still kind of running around checking on her brood, as she calls them, her brood. So, okay, she's not saying anything. So, like I said, when you need a little more joy in your life, call on her. She's perfect. She goes, I am perfect in every way. And she laughs hysterically. So there's also a man showing up behind her, same age. He has the grandfather feeling. Don't know if they were a couple for sure, but they feel like they're connected somehow. A little bit round in the belly. Very, very jovial. Very, a little quieter than her. He says can't get a word in edgewise. But still he has that twinkle in his eye that like he could be pretty ornery too. Maybe not as outspoken with it, but he has, and there's a smell of like stale smoke. I'm not sure if it's pipe, cigar, cigarette. I can't, and it probably won't matter, but it's stale smoke, old smoke. So no, when you get the smell of the flower or the smell of the stale smoke or something, validate them, acknowledge them, tell them you love them, ask them to bring you more if you want more. It's totally up to you. They they said they are there to bring more joy in your life. So there's been some times when you weren't so joyful, where you have smelled that flower, you've smelled that stale smoke, you just didn't realize it. So now you know. And there should be a feeling of peace and kind of a giggly feeling um, when you get those smells. She says you're cute as a bug on a rug, and she wants to pinch your cheek. Now she's showing you as very, very, very young, and I usually ask them not to do this because it needs to be something where you're old enough to remember it. So hopefully you'll remember sitting on the floor in her home, trying to see which room we're in. Room. First I thought it was living room, and now it feels like kitchen. And you're sitting there playing with something, but you're also eating, nibbling on what looks like a bag of like chocolate chips that you would use for baking, or butterscotch chips. Do I want to call them chips? You know, the little, like the chocolate chips you would put in chocolate chip cookies. But it looks actually lighter colored than the chocolate chips. Maybe they're just different kinds. It's like you're sitting on the floor munching on them like candy. So when you were little, you look awful little. She might have, while she was working in the kitchen, she might have put you on the floor and given you little snacks. Okay, now we have a man walking forward. I can't really see him yet, but the feeling I get as he walks forward is kind of like Linus, like he's got a black cloud hanging over his head, like he's very negative, very weighed down with heavy negative um, thoughts and feelings. Just very, very thick energy. Kind of slow moving because I don't even want to say depressed. I'm not even sure. But that slow, heavy, like I just don't want to take another step. I'm just so. Everything that spewed out of his mouth was negative. He couldn't seem to find the happy side of life. Couldn't find the happy in not much of anything, I don't think. Trying to figure out who this guy is. I keep feeling like he's associated with your dad. Or if it's not your dad, it's on your dad's side of the family. There's he's not quite giving me the relationship. It could be dad's brother or something along that line, but somebody close. Excuse me. Okay, so he instantly goes from this plodding along, heavy, dark energy to see the sun really, really bright. He's jumping up and down. He's smiling. He's almost shining. Totally absolute opposite of what he came in as. And he wants you to know that's the way he feels now. Not sure who the man is. Bob wouldn't let him through though if he wasn't supposed to be in this. And Bob's over there throwing his arms up like, you expect a lot of me. He's my man. Love you too, Bob. So I don't think he's not really saying anything personal to you. He wanted to step forward and somebody needs to know that he is vibrant and light and totally the opposite of what he was here. When we leave, I always say they peel us like an onion. They peel those heavy layers of earth, all the heavy crap, and we always hang on to the anger and the revenge and all those bad feelings, and they peel that off of us to where we get down to the nitty gritty of being a bright, beautiful, shining soul. He's going like this. He says, I just wanted to say hi. Just wanted you to see the new me, the real me. He's showing me he has kind of a round face, but I can't really see. He's not making himself very clear. It's his show. I let him do it their way. He's talking about scotch, drinking scotch. So could be you drinking scotch and he knows it and he's validating it, or he liked to drink scotch. Don't let the weight of the world hold you down like I did. Don't do that. Don't go down that hole. Don't do that. It's ugly down there. He says there's always ways to shed some of that heavy stuff and to let it go. it's not worth hanging on to. It will eat you up inside. It can kill eventually. He's just very mellow, calm, peaceful, and he wants you to know that. I love you because you're a beautiful person. Don't let others take advantage of you. Now he's talking about, I'm pretty sure I heard him say something about Clearwater Revival. I don't know how old you are. I know who they are. Down on the Bayou. He's singing Down on the Bayou. Like, I think that's by Creedence. I don't know that song. I think it's another Creedence song. Okay, so he just wanted everybody to know that he's doing good, much better. He doesn't. I don't. I don't know that he actually pops in or anything. He's not saying that he does. I think this is just his opportunity to step forward. Okay, now we got a younger girl, and she's butting right in front of him, and she's bopping around him and getting right in front of him, like, yeah, you're done. Let's see if we can. She's got long dark hair, pretty straight, long dark hair. Trying to figure out how old she is. I stink at ages. I stink at names. I need to quit saying that too. Um, young, late teens, early 20s. Don't hold me to that, but that's more in the age bracket. Um, she left by something that happened quick, and I've asked them not to show me how they died anymore. Now I'm thinking about opening that back up because people want to know. I've been getting a lot of questions where may need to revisit that, but I saw so much horrendous stuff when people pass that I asked not to see that anymore. So that I'm just explaining that because first I wanted to say suicide, then I wanted to say car wreck, and then it was just something that happened quick. So I know that sounds wishy-washy, and I don't like to do that. She's bouncing around. She's kind of flipping her hair is fairly long, and it's kind of flipping it around as she's kind of bebopping. She's turning around kind of like a ballerina. She's very slim, very pretty, very vibrant. I think she might have been a friend of uh, somebody that's younger than you, nieces, daughters, something. Might have been a friend of one of theirs. I asked her how long she's been gone. She said 5. I don't know if that means 5 months or 5 years or 5 days or 5 hours. Because she feels very light and free. It's like when she's kind of bouncing around and going in a circle, she just feels very free, very light. And she's telling She's got dark hair, but she's telling me to tell some female with an A name. Hi. I see you. She's talking to the one with the A name. I see you. I think you've seen me. And she's just bouncing when she's saying it. Don't be afraid. I'm only there to chat. Yeah, I would definitely not be afraid of her energy. So I asked her if she had anything else to say, and she bebopped over here, and she came over here on my right side. She's looking at the screen. She goes, "This is pretty cool. This is neat. How does this work?" Wonder if she would have passed away before computers got big. They've been big for quite a while, though. She, yeah, she's bouncing off. She just popped in and popped out. Not sure what that was about, but I trust Bob. Okay, we're not getting a lot of messages from these people, though. Now we have a lady that's kind of large. She feels like an aunt or a great aunt. She's large and she's walking like she's not really hunched over, but she's leaning forward and her arms are hanging down, like not to the side because she's leaning forward and her arms are hanging down and her head's kind of down. So there's always a reason for whatever they show or say. So she's trying to show who she is. She has kind of like a house duster dress, whatever you want to call it on. Um, like she just hung around the house most of the time. Her hair is kind of brown. She's not elderly, but 40s, 50s, maybe. She said she basically liked to sit around the house and snack on stuff and watch TV incessantly. TV guide. She mentions using a TV guide a lot. How long's it been since we've had a TV guide? She's related to you somehow. Didn't do a lot of like family cooking. Doesn't seem to. But she could take a bag of chips and make them disappear real quick. Something about depression running in the family. So I'm assuming she's talking about the ones before her. Not sure about the ones after her. She didn't really care what was going on in the outside world. She says, make sure you don't get stuck in your house in the same way. Open the door and go outside. Go out in the world. Get out of your house. Get, she says. It's lonely in here. You know how cool it would have been if I wasn't afraid to go out and make friends. So don't ever get stuck in your house. You get too comfy doing that and you will lose yourself. She's got some fuzzy slippers on. Ah, they, oop, can't, looks like bunny slippers or something. And she's feeling like that's the way she was dressed all the time. That she didn't even like to put on clothes and go outside, go to the store, anything like that. And of course, we're going to have Elvis bringing up the rear. Um, they usually come in on my right side, so I always say right side, but it does because Bob's usually on my left. So it doesn't have to be the right side, but he shows that he almost snuggles up right up next to this part of your face. So you should feel that warmth. You should smell him. You should feel that warmth, that tingling. That I think he's strong enough. It'll probably burn, almost burn, like Bob did over here the other day. He had the whole side of my face hotter than hell, and I actually thought I was getting sick or something. I thought, put on one side, so I got the thermometer out and did this ear, normal. Did this ear, the alarm went off because it was hotter. I wish I'd videoed it, and then it went away in a little bit. So that's that's the way it works. You should feel the scratch of his whiskers. I love you. I'm proud of you. You are standing on your own 2 feet. You're doing awesome. You're doing the best you can, and that's all that can be expected. It'll get better. It is getting better. And he's showing like he's picking you up, but what he's doing is he's trying to lift you up, not physically, but trying to lift your spirits, lift you up, lighten you up. All right, he's showing. All right, trying to figure out what he's doing. Showing somebody's wearing a lei, like a Hawaiian lei, like flowers, flower necklace. But he's showing it like looks like a lei, not like a pretty necklace. So I don't know if you've recently been somewhere, you're going to be somewhere where. So watch for that to be a sign whenever you see one. You know the routine in the movie, on Facebook, in store, doesn't matter where you see it. He says he's just been hanging out, and he means around everybody. He's just been kind of hanging out, kind of mellow, kind of like not doing a lot of stuff, but just kind of kicked back and hanging out. Keeping his options open. He hasn't decided which place to pop in next. He said keeping his options open. I'll be here, I'll be there. what's that one cartoon? He's going. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. I can't remember what cartoon that is. And he's got a big smile on his face. It's making me want to sway. He's doing this like he's saying sing songy, but I can't hear any music. So I don't know what he's hearing, what music he's hearing. I'm not hearing it. He's not singing it. Have you recently been swaying to the music or singing to some music? Not sure what he's trying to do with that. I love you. I just popped in to give you a hug. Maybe you'll feel that. Things will be okay. I promise. I'm going to make sure you're taken care of. Don't forget that I love you. It'll be all right. I think there's a song that has that verse in it. Much love to you, my dear. He's waving. He's leaving. Okay, my dear. Well, that was interesting change for me. So I hope you know who some of those people were. They didn't all give a lot of advice. I mean, they just wanted to pop in and let you know who they were and that they were around. But I know some of them didn't have a lot to say why they were here. They just wanted to. That's what we get when we open the door to anybody. But I trust Bob. I trust Bob. He let him through for a reason. Much love to you, Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. See you later.